Right, Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham, Ruach Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings to the elect. Alright, this here is Amma 1 from the Great Millstone Camp in Trinidad. And this is another lesson. This is why we call you the devil. Federal Reserve notes, or paper money, or fiat currency. Alright, this is why we call you the devil, Federal Reserve notes, paper money, or fiat currency. Because this paper dollar is supposed to be backed by something. Alright, the Bible says just wage, just balances, just measures, just IFA. Okay, this dollar bill is not a just balance, it's not a just weight. It is backed by absolutely nothing. Listen, I don't know how the hell Trinidad and Tobago in crash as yet. Trinidad and Tobago in crash as yet. We are taking all the money from the reserves and spending it out. This place going to crash just now because watch me, we didn't have a dollar now. Okay, we make a deal with China. China lease out the pitch lake, right? We make a deal with we are BP down here with us, you know. But to say we exporting any things from this country, we export nothing. This country is exporting nothing in Australia. You know what I'm telling you? This place gonna crash just now. I shocked it didn't crash yet. I very shocked it didn't crash yet. It's supposed to don't crash already. But the people believe in the dollar still, so when they start to see the dollar start to fail them, when money start to fail them, they will know. Yeah, so this is why we call you the devil. I have a cartoon here that I just type up. You see on the screen here. I just typed up Federal Reserve FRN'S. And the cartoon say Federal Reserve notes explained. And the same Federal Reserve note is the dollar bill, which is being used in all the world today. The paper money. Paper money is fake money. Alright? It's fake money. And any nation who try to do away with the dollar, he saw us bring out the big sword and kill. That is just what he does do. He bring out his sword and he look to put his sword by your neck. So the man is a cutthroat, boy. He's a fucking cutthroat. That is what he is, a devil, a cutthroat. Come in your country, set up a false balance, set up a false way, and then when you realize hey, I don't want to deal with this false way no more, he bring out his sword and say, hey, stick with what I say or I'll kill your mother ass. And people for fear of their life just follow the so-called white man. Because he's the man with the biggest sword. The man with the biggest sword in the world, in a fight, in a gunfight. If you have a bazooka and I come with a 38, you win, bro. Now, if you come with a AK-47 and I come with a normal Glock 9 or normal gun, you win. You go destroy me, and that is how his soldiers function. When he realize you don't want to go along with the bullshit no more, like Gaddafi, alright, he come and he kill you and he set up a puppet leader. That's what he trying to do in Venezuela right now. Because Venezuela do away with the dollar. And they cut all ties with the US and they start to make deals with Russia, and America is like, fuck no. Fuck no. So you can't do that. You understand? But this is why we call you the devil. So I'm going to play this video here, and then I will get some scriptures.
Thank you. And how would you like to pay for your purchase?
With Federal Reserve notes.
What does that mean?
It means I will give you promissory notes.
What does that mean?
It means I will give you a negotiable negotiable instrument.
What does that mean?
It means I will sign a piece of paper that says you can redeem it with me for the money.
Who are you?
The Federal Reserve.
When will I be able to take your notes back to you in order to get the money?
Never.
This does not sound like a good deal to me.
For you? No, but you don't have a choice.
What are you talking about?
All of my notes have been declared legal tender by the United States government.
What does that mean?
It means that you must pretend that my promises to pay you money are the money itself.
But that is absurd.
Indeed, but everyone else must pretend as well, so there is no problem.
Has the government put any restrictions on how many notes you can create?
No,
But as you create more and more notes, won't it take more and more of them to buy the same things?
that would seem to make sense, but I'm not worried.
Why not?
The Paul Krugman told me everything would be okay.
Isn't he the same person that said, in 2002, that you needed to create a housing bubble by printing more notes?
Yes,
And isn't that exactly what you did?
yes,
And didn't that plan fall apart, leaving the economy in ruins?
yes,
And you still think that the Paul Krugman knows what he's doing?
yes, there are lots of letters after his name. That means he's smart. He also has a nice beard, like the Ben Bernanke.
I am starting to question the wisdom of these bearded economists. So what kind of money do I have to pretend these notes are?
Dollars.
What is a dollar?
$1 is one Federal Reserve note.
But that is circular. Isn't money supposed to be something that actually exists?
Yes, but since the note is legal tender, you don't have to think about it.
But isn't this counterfeiting?
Hey now, there's no need to be impolite. I'm a very respectable institution.
But aren't you creating money out of thin air, like a counterfeiter?
Yes,
And doesn't that shift wealth away from the people that produce it, towards you who produces nothing, like a counterfeiter?
yes,
And don't you rely on the public not realizing the difference between your money and real money, like a counterfeiter?
yes.
Then how are you any different?
Because there is no real money being used anymore. Everything circulating as money is now my notes, or is based off of them.
That sounds like a recipe for disaster.
Unlikely, I was created in order to prevent them.
But didn't we have a crash in 2008?
Yes,
And wasn't there a crash in 2001?
yes,
And wasn't there a recession in 1990?
yes,
And wasn't there a recession in 1981?
yes,
And weren't there also recessions in 1973, 1969, 1960, 1957, 1953, 1948, 1945, 1937, 1929, 1926, 1923, 1920 and 1918 according to the National Bureau of Economic Research?
yes.
So how many recessions have you prevented?
I don't know, but the Paul Krugman and the Ben Bernanke assure me that things would be a lot worse if I had not been around.
What do you do to prevent recessions?
I can lower the rate of interest I charge to people who borrow my notes, or I can buy up assets from businesses that made bad investments.
It sounds like you only have the power to bail out idiots who should be going bankrupt.
Yes, but these are very important idiots according to their friends.
Don't their friends sit on your board of governors?
Yes,
Isn't that called a conflict of interest?
it is, but the government told everyone not to do bad things, so you don't have to worry.
Weren't you also created to protect the value of the dollar?
Yes,
And how much is the dollar worth now, since you've been around?
about 3 cents.
It does not sound like you've done anything useful since being created.
I've been getting that a lot lately.
Maybe you should consider getting a new job.
I've been getting that a lot too.
I got a precept there. So you see the whole thing with this Federal Reserve notes. That is Federal Reserve notes explained. The whole thing is these wicked elite set up a organization where they could make money out of thin air. Fractional reserve banking. They make money out of thin air. You want some money today? They make money, they have a fraction of that money in the bank. They make some money, print some money out of thin air. That money created as debt already. And then charge you interest on that debt. Why? Tell you how that's function by, and then you go and pay a perpetual debt slave. Okay? You understand what I say? you go to the bank, you want $100,000. They have 30 or they have 10, right? You are 100,000. Tell you come back in a couple of days. They print up some money or they get some money. Give you the money. That money what you get is debt. Because where you're getting the money from is from a private organization. You're not getting the money from from the government. It's a private organization as the central bank lending you the money. So you had to pay them back. So it's debt you borrowing debt. You have it. So you have to pay back that to them. See? And you have to pay with interest. Usury. See? That's why the Most High going and destroy these so-called white people. Right? That have a reason. You devils have to be destroyed. Or you does nothing in the world. Nothing. All you does do correct. Can't do right. This is Micah chapter 6 verse 10, right? It says, are there yet treasures of wickedness in the house of the wicked, and the scant measure that is abominable? It says, shall I count them pure with the wicked balances and with the bag of deceitful weights? And that is you devils, why are you so-called white people? Because it's debt. Your whole system functions on debt. Your whole system functions on debt. Aban, right? Aban, and it means stone, small, boom, boom, boom. Precious stones. But money supposed to be what? Gold and silver. That what money is. That what dollars is. Gold and silver. Okay? The Most High says, shall I count them pure with the wicked balances, and with the bag of deceitful weights? That you devils, that you so-called white people. It says, for the rich men are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. And that is a deception to have people walking up and down the road with these paper dollars, telling themselves that they have real money in their hand. These people have been deceived. And nobody don't care to know how real money is supposed to be. Okay? That is a deception. That is why you always have to keep printing more and more and more and more. And when you, as the cartoon just say, when you keep printing more and more and more and more, wouldn't I have to spend more money to buy the same thing, which is called what? Inflation. That is called inflation. And when countries get hyperinflated like Venezuela is right now, because why? The had was to just keep printing more and more and more money. Because what? Saudi Arabia and the United States of America flooded the markets with what? Venezuela was which is still a very wealthy country because they have a lot of natural resources there. But because the economy was based on oil and gas, and America and them won the thing earlier, like 2014, 15, 16, all them time in there, what the Saudis and the Americans did, because the Saudis and the Americans are allies. What they did, they opened up their reserves, because America oil to burn, America friggin' real oil in the reserves, so them could waste oil. They open up the reserves, and you know what they do? They cripple the economy, like crack in the 80s. Understand? Like cracking cocaine, not crack, cocaine in the early 80s. The late 70s, early 80s. Powder. Yeah, as I was saying, right? Like crack, cocaine in the 80s. Late 70s, early 80s. It had so much of cocaine coming to the US. So much. that the price of cocaine, the powder form, was next to nothing. That's where they invented crack, and that is what the US did to the oil markets. So by flooding that now, they crippled the Venezuelan economy. Okay? They crippled the economy, and by crippling the economy, that is how Venezuela started to suffer like how they suffer in there. But Venezuela was a wealthy country. Still is a wealthy country. But look up this here, right? The Great Gold Robbery. And it says Thomas E. Woods Jr. This article was in 2008, right? And it says it's been 75 years since the federal government, on the spurious grounds of fighting the Great Depression, ordered the confiscation of all monetary gold from Americans, permitting trivial amounts for ornamental or industrial use. This happens to be one of the episodes Kevin Gutzman and I described in detail in our new book, Who Killed the Constitution? In Fate of American Liberty from World War I to George W. Bush. From the point of view of the typical American classroom, on the other hand, the incident may as well not have occurred. A key piece of legislation in this story is the Emergency Banking Act of 1933, which Congress passed on March the 9th without having read it after only the most trivial debate. House Majority Leader Bertrand H. Snell, FRN'S, generously conceded that it was entirely boom boom boom. Let me find this man, because it's what is his name, boy? Franklin D. Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt confiscated all the gold. Right, look at here. The Emergency Banking Act reached back in time to amend the Trading with the Enemy Act of 1917, which had originally been intended to criminalize economic intercourse between American citizens and declared enemies of the United States. So you couldn't deal with enemies of the United States monetarily. It says, one provision of the act granted the president the power to regulate and even prohibit under such rules as regulation as he may prescribe any transaction in foreign exchange, export, or earmarkings of gold or silver coin or bullion currency by any persons within the United States. In 1918, the act was amended to extend its provisions 2 years beyond conclusion and hostilities, and to allow the president to investigate, regulate, or prohibit even the hoarding of gold by an American. You eating this, boy? Well, hey, you can read out the article. I just wanted to find where it said, where Roosevelt said what he said, right? Well, look at right here. Executive Order 6102 on Wikipedia. It says Executive Order is a 6102 is a United States presidential executive order signed on April 5th, 1933 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, forbidding the hoarding of gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates. So you couldn't own gold in 1933, so they do away with anything, any monetary system as gold. That was done away with. And That is where you get this freaking fiat currency what we have today known as the Federal Reserve or Trinidad and Tobago dollar. We have that in Trinidad here. We have it all over the world. And that is why we call you the devil, because there's hyperinflate and crash. As the video that I showed you before. Okay? So that is why we call you the devil. John chapter 10 verse 10, and I will close with that. It says, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they may have life and that they might have it more abundantly. So the thief is you so-called white people, and that is your purpose, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And you did a very excellent job in doing that. Okay. Hey, so with that, I'll give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Hasham Yahushai Ba'Hasham Rakak with Shalom.